If you're watching this video, you're probably thinking of living in Hoboken in New Jersey. Now, I always say that I think that Jersey City and Hoboken should be considered like the sixth borough of Manhattan, because even though it's not in the state of New York, I do think that it really does feel like another borough of New York City. So I never lived directly in Hoboken, but I would spend pretty much every day there because I was within walking distance of the city. So Hoboken definitely has a very, very strong community feel, I would say. So it's a tiny little 1 square mile city overlooking the west side of Manhattan. And it's literally within a few minutes away from New York City. And you can get there so quickly by PATH train, which is the subway connecting New Jersey to New York City. I would say that Hoboken has the best skyline views of Manhattan ever, I would say. Like, if you are in the waterfront parks in Hoboken, the views of Manhattan are absolutely incredible. Like, even just spending a day just like strolling around those waterfront parks is like just like entertainment in itself, just to see the skyline. So a lot of people who are like straight out of college or moving to the city for the first time in their early 20s find themselves in Hoboken because it's not like all a young vibe, but there is definitely like a younger community that is there in Hoboken, and it's very welcoming and easier place to make friends. So one thing when I lived in that area of New Jersey that I did notice is I'm not from the state of New Jersey, I'm actually from the state of Connecticut. So I noticed that most people who were living in that area were from the state of New Jersey. That's just kind of like the common theme that I noticed. It definitely wasn't everybody, but at the same time, I did kind of feel a little bit more like an outlier because I was one of the only people that weren't from the state of New Jersey. So that was also a while ago, so that might have changed by now, just because I do think that every year that goes on, Hoboken's becoming more and more popular, and you can tell that from the price, because it's definitely not cheap. So like I said, you can take the PATH train into Manhattan within just a few minutes, honestly. So it's very, very easy to get into Manhattan. If you're in North Hoboken, you're not going to be close to the PATH train because the PATH train is all the way in the southern part of Hoboken, but you will be close to like a ferry terminal that will also get you into Manhattan. So you do have both options, and then there are also plenty of buses that go into New York City as well. So there are a lot of different options to get into Manhattan. So you'll never have to worry about that no matter where you live in the city of Hoboken. The only thing that you have to consider is if you are relying on bus transportation to get into Manhattan, is that sometimes during the morning commutes especially, there tends to be a ton of traffic in the tunnels that's connecting New Jersey to New York. So because of that, the bus is definitely a little bit more unreliable because of that. There's only so much train traffic when you're taking the PATH train into the city, but buses, you're dealing with bus traffic plus all the other cars that are commuting in. So because of that, you can't always predict what time you're gonna get into the city when you're taking the buses. So that's just something to be aware of. So where I lived in Jersey, I was taking the bus into Manhattan every day, and that was definitely something that I noticed. I was like, okay, well, I never really know what time I'm gonna get in, so I always need to leave early. So the New Jersey transit trains also run through Hoboken, at least some of them do. So you can also get pretty much anywhere else in the state through the Hoboken train station. So that's also something to keep in mind as well if you need to go to other areas. So Hoboken has a lot of places to eat. In my opinion, I don't think Hoboken is the best dining scene in the world. I definitely would say that neighboring Jersey City, I would say personally, don't hate me in the comments. Well, actually, I would love for you guys to share your thoughts in the comments, because I do think that Jersey City's dining scene is a little bit better, but Jersey City is also right next door to Hoboken, so you can easily just hop on the light rail or the PATH and go to Jersey City for the dining scene. But Hoboken does have a lot of restaurants, and there are good places there as well. It's just that I wouldn't really go out of my way if I didn't live in Hoboken to dine there, but I actually feel like there are some spots in Jersey City that I might, because I actually really do like some spots in Jersey City. Now, Hoboken definitely has like a bar scene. I would say a casual bar scene. You're not gonna like get dressed up in like a little black dress and go out in Hoboken, for the most part at least, but like they do have a casual like bar scene, late night bar scene, and they do have a lot of sports bars as well. So if that's like your vibe, then Hoboken's a great place for that. So when it comes to apartments, you're gonna have some mid-rise buildings, you're gonna have some new developments, you're gonna have some classic townhomes as well. So you're honestly really gonna have it all in Hoboken. So I would say the one trend in the city is that it's all very expensive. Because of the views and because of the community in Hoboken, it's honestly just very, very, very pricey. So it used to be that you would go to Hoboken to save money from living in the city because it's cheaper. But as the years go on, it's just hardly become cheaper. And you can actually find New York City neighborhoods that are comparable prices, if not maybe a little bit cheaper depending on where you are. So it's just something to keep in mind. But however, I do think that Hoboken is a really good option as kind of like an entry city into New York City. So if you're moving to New York City for the first time and you're kind of intimidated by New York City life, or you have like a car, so you want to have your car with you, Hoboken can be a really, really great city for that, because I mean, street parking is definitely not the best in Hoboken, but it's doable. I've gotten my fair share of parking tickets in Hoboken. They probably knew my name in the Hoboken Parking Authority, but you can have your car there. You can definitely feel like you're living near the city without being fully ingrained into New York City. So I do think it's a really, really great entry-level location for somebody who's really intimidated by the move to New York City. So I hope this helped you figure out if you should live in Hoboken or not. I would love to know, would you ever live in Hoboken? And do you also think that Hoboken should be considered the sixth borough of New York City? I know there's always a lot of controversy over that. So I would love to know in the comments, because as always, I love hearing from you guys.